Hey, what's going on YouTube? Today is still February 25th, 2013, and right now we're getting to the second part of my Shooting-Synchron deck profile. I started this earlier this morning, I'm done with my classes, and now I'm back home. So, let's go ahead and get to this. Let's see how fast we can do this. So let's go over the extra deck, shall we? First off, it's 15 cards, just like any other extra deck, all synchros. First off, we have the Shooting Star Dragon. If you've already seen my other video, you've seen that the first part to this, you've seen that I've already talked about it. But so if you want to, go ahead and skip over like the next couple minutes or whatever. Okay, so Shooting Star Dragon is a level 10 synchro monster. It's 3,300 attack points, 2,800 defense. It requires a Synchro Tuner and one Stardust Dragon. It has 3 effects, all of which can be activated in the same turn. The first is that during your turn, you can check the top 5 cards of your deck, and for every Tuner monster among those top 5 cards, that's how many times this card can attack. So that's cool. It also has like a Stardust Dragon effect. If a card on your side of the field, a card or cards on your side of the field would be destroyed by a card effect, you can negate that card effect and destroy that card with Shooting Star Dragon. Unlike Stardust Dragon, it doesn't leave the field, so that's really cool. It stays up there. Its third effect, if this or any other monster card you control is targeted for an attack, you can go ahead and banish this card and then negate that attack entirely. So it's really good against stuff like Neospatian, the Warrior Ladies, all that good stuff. So that's Shooting Star. Next up, we have Stardust Dragon. Stardust Dragon is one of my all-time favorite monsters. Really cool. Stardust Dragon has 2,500 attack, 2,000 defense. It's a level 8 monster that requires a tuner, plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. Nobody really synchro summons for this. Everybody just uses Starlight Road, and that's all they use it for. A lot of people who play professionally don't really care for Stardust. But I happen to love Stardust. It's one of my favorite synchro monsters. So basically, what Stardust does is if one or more of your cards would be destroyed by a card effect, you can go and send this guy to the graveyard, negate that card effect, and destroy it. And then during the end phase, Stardust Dragon comes back. Now here's the thing about Starlight Road, which I just mentioned. If you summon Stardust Dragon with Starlight Road, you can still use Stardust Dragon's effect. However, it's not going to come back at the end phase of the turn, because it wasn't synchro summoned. Same goes, and then maybe later you want to Monster Reborn it or Call the Haunted it. You can't do that either, because for the same reasons. If it wasn't synchro summoned in the first place, there's just no way you're going to be able to get it back. So if you're doing it like the Starlight Road type thing, it's a one-shot, one-time deal. But most people are okay with that. That's cool. Next up, we have Black Rose Dragon, one of the best synchro monsters. I think everybody runs it just like they do Stardust. Level 7 dragon type. It requires a tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. Cool thing about this guy, it is Dark Hole, Heavy Storm put together. Boom. Once this guy hits the field, you can send it to the graveyard, get rid of everything on the field just immediately. Its other effect is by banishing a plant type monster from your graveyard, you can change a defense position monster on your opponent's side of the field to attack position with its attack equaling 0. So that's really cool. Love Black Rose Dragon. Really cool card. Next up is Nitro Warrior. We run a lot of Quickdraw. We run 3 Quickdraw Synchrons. So Nitro Warrior is just an awesome card to have. Maybe go ahead, discard a Level Eater, or just discard that Quillbolt, then resummon that Quillbolt. Boom, boom. You got your Nitro Warrior. Nitro Warrior is really cool. Although to be honest, if I were to get my hands on a shooting Quasar Dragon, I'd probably take out Nitro Warrior for it. But we'll have to see. Nitro Warrior is really awesome. During your turn, if you activate during either player's turn, I think. Once per turn during your turn, if you activate a spell card. This card will gain 1,000 attack for its first attack. So it starts off with 2,800. But if you play a spell, like let's say you use Mystical Space Typhoon, pop a back row, he gains 1,000 attack points, bringing him up to 3,800. Now that's only for his first attack. His second ability is really cool. If he destroys a monster on your opponent's side of the field, then you can automatically switch a defense position monster, face up, defense position monster, to attack position. And then you can have Nitro Warrior attack that monster. So, really overpowered. Well, not overpowered, but just a really good beater. Raw power is what Nitro Warrior is. He can inflict a lot of damage in a single turn. So, he's really cool. Next up, we are running 2 Junk Gardenas. Junk Gardena is a really awesome card. It's a level 6 warrior type monster that requires 1 Junk Synchron plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. This card is really cool, really easy to get out with Quickdraw Synchron. Level 6, like I said. It's got 1400 attack, 2600 defense. And basically, during either player's turn, you can switch the battle position of an opponent's monster. So maybe your opponent's attacking you with like a DD Warrior Lady, a Neospacian Granmole, or just anything that could kill one of your guys, or get rid of it. Use Junk Gardena, switch that monster to defense mode, negate its the battle entirely. You can also use it during your turn. Maybe your opponent's playing a monster face down, they don't want to lose any life points. You know, maybe it's like a search monster, maybe like a recruiter, like Mass Dragon or something, and they don't want to lose any life points. Go ahead, use Junk Gardena's effect, flip that bad boy over, attack it, and deal some damage. Of course, you know, it could always drop back. It could be a Raikou, could be a Snowman Eater. Those are a lot of really good cards that most people just, you know, would play face down. Kind of have to. But you guys know what I mean. So you got to be careful with that. Other than that, Junk Gardena is a very good card. Next up, we are running 2 Junk Warriors. This is the card that, you know, started it all for me. I really got hooked on Junk Warrior and the Synchros, and this is the guy that did it for me. Basically, he's a level 5 Synchro monster. He requires Junk Warrior plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. He requires a Junk Synchron, yeah. Anyway, Junk Warrior, level 5, 2300 attack, 1300 defense. He's really easy to get out. You can use Junk Synchron, grab that Quillbolt from your graveyard, or you can go ahead, throw away Junk Synchron, get that, then maybe play Synchron Explorer and do it that way. There's a lot, or Quickdraw Synchron, discard a Level Eater, bring that Level Eater back at the same turn by decreasing Quickdraw's level by 1. So then you would sync for 5, get out your Junk Warrior. So that's really cool. Junk Warrior is pretty awesome. When he's summoned, he gains attack points equal to all level 2 or below monsters. So that's really cool. However, this only works on the monsters that were on the field when he was summoned, and they have to be face up. So if you had your Quillbolt on the field, he would gain that 800. But if you played Quillbolt the next turn, he's not going to get that 800. And obviously, if those monsters disappear, Quillbolt, Level Eater, what have you, he's going to lose those attack points that he gained. But he's still a really awesome card. So, and one of my favorites. Next up, we run 3 Junk Destroyers. Junk Destroyer is an awesome card in this deck. I love it. Discard Quickdraw Synchron. Discard Quickdraw Synchron by discarding Quillbolt Hedgehog. Bring Quillbolt back using its own effect. Then play the Level Eater that you have in your hand and sync for Junk Destroyer. Junk Destroyer is really cool. He requires Junk Synchron plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. And basically, for every non-tuner monster you use to Synchro Summon this guy, you can destroy an equal amount of cards on the field. So if you did what I just gave an example, Quickdraw Synchron, Quillbolt, and Level Eater, you would be able to destroy 2 cards on your opponent's side of the field. So it's a very, very awesome card. It has 2600 attack, 2500 defense. It's a really good beater. It's good crowd control. It's just an overall very great card. So that's why we're running 3. Next up, we are running a Scrap Dragon. This card is level 8, 2800 attack, 2000 defense. It requires 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. Once per turn, you can select a card you control and 1 card your opponent controls. Destroy them both. Yes. And destroy both. And when this card is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or card effect, and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 non-synchro scrap monster in your graveyard and special summon that target. So he's pretty cool. Love him, especially with Love Leader. Next up, if I ever get a TG Hyperion, I'm going to definitely replace it for this. I have a level 6 Drill Warrior. He's actually come in handy. Drill Warrior is really cool. He requires Drill Synchron plus one or more non-tuner monsters. Once per turn during your main phase, you can have this card's attack points permanently. If you do, you can attack your opponent directly. So that's really cool. So he starts at 2400 base attack. Half that, that's 1200. That's 1200 points of damage. Really, just really nice. And you have no idea how often, that will save you. If you do attack your opponent directly this turn, once per turn during your main phase, you can discard, in that either main phase 1 or 2, you can discard one card from your hand and remove this card from play. During your next standby phase, you can special summon this card and then add one monster card from your graveyard. Is it one monster? Yes, then add one monster card from your graveyard to your hand. This card is really good with Dandylion. So first of all, you would discard a card, remove it from play. When it comes back the next turn, it'll have its original 2400 attack points, which is really cool. So you can keep recycling and just keep that combo going, doing 1200 points of damage. And if you discard stuff like Dandylion, you'll be getting out 2 fluff tokens as well. So that way you'll have something to defend you. So it's a really awesome card. I do like it. I might keep it in, but I think if I got a TG Hyperion, I would definitely replace it for this. Next up, we have Gaia Knight, Force the Earth, 2600 attack, 800 defense. It's a level 6 monster. It's just a good beat stick. It can get over a lot of really powerful monsters, like Stardust. Other than that, nothing too special about it. If I do use it, maybe I'll bring like Junk Synchron out, resurrect Level Eater, then bring out Quillbolt using its own effect, or I'll use Spore by banishing Dandylion, bring back Spore, its level becomes 4. Then I'll bring out a Quillbolt Hedgehog, 4 plus 2, 6, get out my Gaia Knight. So that's why he's in there. It doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes, it happens. Lastly, to round up the monsters, we have, of course, the Formula Synchron. Formula Synchron is a really awesome card. Level 2, it requires one tuner plus one non-tuner monster. When this card is synchro summoned, you can draw one extra card from your deck. It's also a Tuner Synchro monster, which means it can be used with another. Which means that it can be used for any synchro summon. So normally, you would use it with Stardust to make Shooting Star, but you can also use it with. You could use it with like Gaia Knight. Maybe you want to get out Stardust Dragon, or you could use it with Junk Warrior and get out Black Rose Dragon. It's got a lot of neat possibilities. And the best part is that you can use it during your opponent's main phase. So, if your opponent maybe goes, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead, I will, summon this guy, and they're getting ready to attack, getting ready to move in their battle phase. You go, nah, hang on. Let me sync Formula Synchron with my Junk Warrior, bring out Black Rose, and just blow up the whole field. So, he's a really awesome card. So yeah, that's it for my Shooting-Synchron deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. This is part 2, obviously, where I show my extra deck. I kind of go over combos. I know I didn't really grab out cards from my deck to show them, but hopefully I explained it well enough to where everybody understood. If you have any questions or if you just want to leave some good feedback or maybe some suggestions, go ahead and let me know. Oh, on a quick note, I keep forgetting. So as you guys will see from the description, and I've already said, there are 12 tuners in this deck. That's a lot of tuners. That's a lot. Yes, sometimes it doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes you get a hand where it's just filled with tuners. All bad. However, the reason I have so many tuners in, I used to have like just 10. I would have 10 tuners, 10 monsters. But even then, I found it was a bit too few. Like I said, I really would like to have a Shooting Quasar Dragon, but I don't. So I have my Shooting Star Dragon. Shooting Star Dragon, like I said, wait 1 second. You draw cards, top 5 cards from your deck, and then for every tuner monster you draw, that's how many times this card can attack. That's one of the major weaknesses. If you don't have a bunch of tuners in your deck, odds are you're not going to draw. anything. This card is just useless, which is why a lot of people don't use it. I can see that. I've found that even with 10, it's really hard to keep a lot of tuners in the deck and to be able to use them. So that's why I have the 12. Because another downside to Shooting Star Dragon, if you don't even have 5 tuners in your deck, this card can't attack at all. It's just a dead card. So that's why we run 12 tuners. It's a bit much, but to be quite honest, it's not that bad. Now, I'm going to go over like a really quick combo that I use to get Shooting Star out. You'd be surprised as to how often it works and how often I get this hand. So, you draw, maybe it'll take a couple of turns, but eventually this is what you want to have. Not even that. This is what you want to have in your hand. 1-for-1, Dandylion, and Debris Dragon. Shoot, sorry, my camera. So you draw, you have 1-for-1. Discard this little guy, Dandylion. Poof! He's gone. Now you have 2 fluff tokens. And because you've used 1-for-1's effect, boom, you get Spore. So there you go. Now you got your Spore. Then you play your Debris Dragon, use Debris Dragon's effect, get back Dandylion. Now you have your 5 cards. Sync Debris Dragon, Dandylion with the token, get out your Stardust Dragon. Sync Spore with your fluff token, get out Formula Synchron, draw your card, boom, boom, sync those, get your Shooting Star Dragon. So there we go. That's one of the easiest ways to get this out. There are other ways. I've been able to do it with like Quickdraw Synchron, get a couple of those in your hand, maybe some level eaters, bring out, your, what's it called, Junk Gardener, then maybe, let's see. So I've been able to do it with Quickdraw Synchron, Unknown Synchron, and like I said, the level eaters and stuff. Oh geez, I'm trying to think how I can explain this. You know what? No, it's good. If anybody has any questions or whatever, they can obviously ask me. But okay, hang on. So you would go ahead, special summon this guy using its effect. Go ahead and special summon Quickdraw Synchron using the same effect. Normal summon this. No. So you would boom, sync for that, and then shoot, yeah. Shoot. I can't remember how to do this, but it is possible to do it with like Quickdraw Synchron and stuff. If I figure it out, because right now I'm just kind of doing this on the spot. I haven't really, because like I said, I've been doing schoolwork and stuff. So, but if I ever think about it, I'll maybe do like an update video. But you know what? That's pretty much it. That's my my Shooting-Synchron deck profile. I know a lot of you probably are bored with it because you've seen people do it all the time on YouTube, and they all look the same for the most part. But it's a deck that I'm really proud of. I've been using it since 2008. But yeah, I mean, this is just something that I really enjoy. I really like using. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all have a really awesome day. Remember, if you like this video, go ahead and rate, comment, subscribe. You don't have to. That's fine. If you have any good suggestions, maybe you want me to do a certain deck profile, let me know. I'll try and get to it if I can. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.